Okay. Thank you guys for joining us for Whiskey with Whitaker, episode number 2. I'm here with Candy, clear out in Lincoln, Nebraska. Candy, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. Really great to see you again. And so since this is Whiskey with Whitaker, I'm going to open up and of course, here into my red Solo cup because all of my glasses are in Nebraska. So get my.
I'll definitely join you. And thanks for having me. I am excited to do this with you. I'm gonna have to join you with my water though, because I was telling you that um, I had my wisdom teeth removal, so I'm still in the healing process. And it hasn't been, I honestly thought it was very similar to removing a molar and just being done with it. But then come to find out, it's like there's stitches, there's the whole healing process. Then you,
That's surgery. That's not just pulling a tooth. That's surgery.
I know, I was like, gosh, you guys need to give me more awareness and, but I think also if I would have known, that I couldn't really eat solid food for the first week, I think I probably would have skipped out really quick.
You'd have thought twice about that. Like, wait a second, you didn't tell me this up front.
I swear. So right after I was out of my procedure, they gave me anesthesia just to completely put me to sleep.
You went under. They knocked you completely out.
They did. I don't like procedures in general, period. So I kind of requested that beforehand. I was like, please, can you guys make sure I'm out? And I was out. And then once I was um, opening my eyes, I was in the recovery room. They were telling Christian, my boyfriend, that he needed to wake me up within 30 minutes, but I can hear them. I was able to hear everybody, but I wasn't able to move. I was just like,
you couldn't do anything about it.
I know. And then for some reason, I ended up being very emotional. So Christian was telling me, he said, hey, wake up. Like, you need to try to wake up. And I was like, almost like just doing very slow movements, if any, just trying to wake myself up. And then I start crying. And he's like, oh my God, are you in pain? Do we need to get the nurse? And I'm like, so, picture me with gauze in my mouth. And I'm like, and so I was like, I can't wake up. I can't wake up. And then he's like, it's all right. Just keep going. You're fine. You're gonna wake up. But it felt almost as if I was trying to open my eyelids and somebody was like pushing them down.
They were heavy.
And so since I couldn't talk, I figured I have a Facebook, I have Instagram, I have all that, but I don't, other than real estate and marketing from that type of standpoint, I really don't look at Facebook a whole lot.
Right.
And I think when I have situations like that, then I'm like, well, let me look at Facebook, see what's out there. Let me look at the gossip. So that I really so I was looking on Facebook, right? And this was maybe 45 minutes after the procedure. So they wheeled me.
So you're still whacked out.
I was super whacked out. This is how I felt. I felt like I was still like not fully awake. And the nurse is like, sit on this wheelchair. We'll wheel you out. You'll keep waking up the rest of the way home. And in my mind, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure I shouldn't be here for a little bit more? But I don't think they gave me enough where I had to stay there longer than 30 minutes. So as I'm going in my car and Christian's driving, I kind of just pull up Facebook and I'm just like scrolling, not really reading, and then all of a sudden,
not even looking at the pictures, just
just going like this. And then all of a sudden I come across something that said Mother's Day. So then I thought, so keep in mind, I'm not fully there. I tell Christian with gauze in my mouth, oh my God, it's Mother's Day. And she looks at me like, it's not Mother's Day. Maybe it's Father's Day. And I was like, oh my God, I need to call my mom. So my mom was at work. I call her and then I leave her a voicemail out of my mouth. So you can't understand me. And I'm like, Mom, I just wanted to tell you happy Mother's Day. I don't know who I think I am for forgetting it. And uh, my mom gets off of work generally between 5 and 6. She calls me back and she's like, hey, you're not okay, are you? I'm like, I don't know what day it is. All I need to tell you is happy Mother's Day. She's like, well, that's in May, but we're in March. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to sleep because I don't know what's going on.
Well, happy Mother's Day anyway.
So I just at that point, I'm like, I need to turn off my phone, turn off my laptop, everything, because I'm gonna make a call and I'm gonna regret. So
When you're on that kind of pain pill, pain shot, pain relief, you don't need to be on the phone.
somebody should have taken it away from me before, I started making calls telling people happy Mother's Day, or my mom. And
Uh-huh.
she calls back and she's like, I know you're not okay if you're telling me happy Mother's Day in March. And I'm like, oh my God.
So for those of you that don't know, Candy is she's fresh off the boat from Guatemala a little bit earlier this afternoon. She came up for the free medical.
Oh
I'm glad you made the immigration train in and were able to claim Christ sanctuary.
Oh, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. Oh Lord, no, but I was telling you that, aside from that day, reviewing all the gossip, like I was saying,
Right.
real estate out here has been really, I think I want to call it as hectic as last year. Meaning after the pandemic hit and COVID and everything, there was an initial a slow of everything.
Right.
Uh, a lot of people they didn't know a whole lot about the virus. There was a lot of uncertainty. So just real estate slowed down significantly for, I want to say, a couple of days. Then after a while, I want to say right before school started last year, everything everything was flying off the market. Everybody was buying. And in North Carolina, how are things looking?
So it's crazy here. About that time, I was representing, about the time you're talking about, I was representing a couple of buyers in Nebraska, and we were putting bids on houses, Candy, $15,000-$20,000 over asking prices, and we were getting beat. It was absolutely nuts. Well, actually, right now I'm trying to buy here in North Carolina. I'm going to go look at 6 houses tomorrow. I've looked at a couple, but there's been 3 appointments where I got the call and said, you know what, never mind. I'm not going to go put in a backup offer. I had the appointment the day that it was coming on to the MLS to go out there and see it, and I got beat to making an offer. I said, I'm just not interested in putting in a backup offer. I'm not doing it. So it is crazy here, and there's nothing on the market here. It comes on and it's gone day of. There's just nothing on the market right now.
Yeah, I completely understand. I think as agents, we're all scrambling to find properties off the market for our buyers.
Well, I've got one, and we'll probably have to talk. I've got one coming up actually in Nebraska, just north of you a little bit. I've got the listing coming up on that one, and whether or not you've got a buyer for it, I might need some of your assistance there in marketing and showing that property anyway. So
Yeah, absolutely.
if you're interested.
Anytime that I can help, let me know. I've incorporated a drone system. I was briefly telling you about it when you were still in Nebraska. I think we were utilizing the drone system more for our acreages, but I think, again, just trying to provide something else for our buyers and sellers. now the drone system is something that we utilize with every property. So it's not just acreages, it's every property. We want to be able to visualize it to our buyers and anybody who's out there. Because as you know, we have buyers who are local and we also have buyers who are coming from a different state to Nebraska. So things like that are very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I represented a couple from North Carolina on a move to Nebraska, and so everything that they saw was pictures on the internet, video walkthroughs, doing Facebook Live walkthroughs through houses when I was there. And that's the only way that they got to see houses. So yeah, the pictures, the walkthroughs, the drone, the being able to see the neighborhood is huge. I've actually got something. It's similar to that great big Matterport camera. It spins around, takes measurements, does a 360, the floor plan, the little dollhouse thing. I've got something like that coming on the way. It's not a Matterport, but it's the same technology. So I'm going to start incorporating that too on my next listing. So that's cool to have that too, where you can have the 3D walkthrough. You can have that, that dollhouse, so you can like see into the house where the rooms are at and everything. So that'll be cool.
With the market changing, we have had some buyers put in an offer based on looking at something similar to a Matterport or the Matterport itself. So it's very useful. It's very helpful.
It is. It's probably about as close as you can get to standing in the room and looking around without being there as you're ever going to get. I mean, it's pretty impressive technology.
It is. Right now that spring's, coming back up and everybody's getting ready to buy, that's a big one. I live in North Lincoln. And so I was actually just talking to one of my neighbors down the road, how fast we're seeing properties leave the market. One of my neighboring properties sold within 7 hours. And we had multiple offers on that property.
Well, and that's one of the things that I was talking to these sellers that I've got coming up in Nebraska. Actually, just like this, I did a Zoom meeting with them, and we're going to be probably right at. I've got to double check this. I've got to do a little bit more market research. I haven't dug into it overly deep, but I'm pretty comfortable with the area and the house, and I think we're going to be about 250. So I said, just pull up everything from 200 to 300 within 50 miles of you. One property on the market right now. 50,000 below, 50,000 above, and within a 50-mile radius of them, there's one property. So if there's buyers in that looking for that price, which I know that there is, they've got two choices. If you put your house on the market right now, they've got two choices, yours and the other one.
Right.
So if you want to sell it, we can put it on there right now. They're like, well, we better wait a minute. They're building.
Oh, that's awesome. That's another thing too, is a lot of people now or a lot of builders are able to build at different price points that really you're able to customize your house. So how generally the builders have a plan,
right?
And they tell you at this price, this is what you get. At the end of the day, you're able to customize every corner, but then it gives you guidance as to this is where you can start, and really there's endless possibilities. So that's awesome. That's one of the biggest perks right now. There's a lot of new construction going on too. So,
and that's actually one thing that I looked at down here, because we looked on the market and there's just not much here. Now there are a few houses that we like, and we're probably within a couple of weeks, because if we go 45 days for closing, in a couple of weeks, 45 days will be May 1. Well, school's going to be out and everybody's going to be here, so we're going to have to be in a house by then. And there's just there's not a lot of choice. So we looked at building, and we went and talked to a couple of builders down here, They said, yeah, absolutely, we can build. We'll get you on the schedule. We'll get in, pick your lot, whatever you want to do. Be about 18 months to 2 years before you get to the top of the list. It's like, well, that's not going to work. So I don't know how backed up the builders are in Nebraska where you're at, but down here in North Carolina, they are way behind.
Well, so right now we're in the process of finishing a new construction. By the advantage that we had was when we put the purchase agreement together for this property, we had the framing done. So because the framing was done, we really, let's see, I think it was 3 months now that we've been, waiting to have this property be completed. But again, the framing was up.
Yeah,
So
it was one that was already on the list, already started, and there's a few of them like that where, and you'll run across that with whatever, maybe a buyer backed out, maybe financing didn't come together, whatever the reason is, this particular house is available now, and that does happen. You can find those, but and there's a couple of those, right now on the market of, hey, this thing's already started, buyers backed out, whatever. Get in here right now. You can pick, your colors, your finishes, all that kind of stuff. However, those ones that are being built right now that are on the market aren't in the places that we're looking at buying. So
yeah, well, I agree. The place is it's a very important factor. I mentioned earlier we're in North Lincoln, and the offices are in South Lincoln, the real estate office, the state
right.
office are in South Lincoln. But my family, Christian, the kids, everybody kind of circles around the North Lincoln area. So like you said, there's as a family, you want to be in a specific place. So location is important. That
Absolutely. Speaking of South Lincoln, how is it getting around there now with that South Beltway in full swing and closing down roads and all of that construction on that south end of Lincoln? How's that?
it's I think from my standpoint, it's very interesting to see everything be put together. As you and I know, we both had a substantial amount of information where we had an idea of what it was going to look like, but actually visualizing it in person and being able to see all that progress and work is a whole different.
Yeah, when you're like, you go to your tracks where you bought land from these landowners for this project, and I remember standing out there and having plans in my hand, and looking at engineer drawings and saying, well, it's going to go here, and so to be able to actually stand out there and see where that road is and see how the grading is and what it actually looks like, that would be pretty cool.
It is. And, the thing is that you as a resident, as a resident of Lincoln or just anywhere that you're able to use new infrastructure like that, you have to look at it from a positive standpoint. Like any other construction site, there is going to be some inconveniences, and I hope that we all kind of work through it together. I was actually just reading yesterday that Sotillo and the 70th Street area is going
Yep.
to be closed for a while.
I saw that.
A lot of people are going to have to reroute. It's going to take more time to get from point A to point B. But again, once everything's actually built, people are going to love that. It's maybe even going to cut them time to get from one place to another because traffic is going to be diverted. But we actually were, so I drove by 77th, Highway 77th, and Sotillo Bennett area, and
Right.
Bennett Road has been improved. So before, when we used to drive by there, it was gravel, and then I want to say minimum maintenance further north and
Right.
south. So to see that improvement is great. And then we started seeing some of the roundabouts around that area too. So
People love those roundabouts, don't they?
they're managing to get through them. So I think a lot of people don't look forward to seeing them, but
I don't know anybody that likes them.
yeah.
Everybody cusses those things.
Yeah. So there's a lot of traffic being rerouted now. But I'm excited to see the whole end result after, I think there's 2 more years of construction on the
Right.
belt. So once that's completed, I'm excited. There's a lot of improvement going on in regards to houses and developing around the Hickman area, Roca. So I
So
believe.
that's just what I was going to ask you. You know, I just sold a house, maybe, gosh, how long has it been now? It hasn't been, time flies. I sold a house down there in Hickman not too terribly long ago. But Matt, sold a house to him and his wife down there, and they just got moved down there, and they're in that area. And so that's what I was going to ask you with that South Beltway. Are you aware of any Lincoln city plans or county plans or any development plans? Is that going to really grow in housing? I mean, I kind of assume that it is, but is that?
So I don't know of any, I want to say bigger projects like that, of development like that going on. But what I can share with you is that um, Lincoln is definitely expanding south. There's a lot, that's really where all the new construction is happening, is south of Lincoln. I was talking to a local builder, and they were actually putting a development together near Rokeby Road and 27th Street, I want to say.
Okay.
So, I mean, that only tells you they're going
Right.
south.
And I saw some plans a couple of years ago that the city was putting, I think that 27th and Rokeby area, where they were running like water and sewer mains and planning on extending the services down that direction there. So I assume that that would be something that would be coming online here pretty soon.
I agree. I agree. And then there was another city project that was going to take place along, I think it's 140th, that would link essentially at some point the
So,
Beltway and I-80.
so the Beltway right now doesn't it stop at like 120th?
Or maybe it was 120th, but there
Because
was
it,
a
it hooks back into Highway 2 at, man, I thought it was 120, gosh, maybe it was 128 or something like that. I was thinking 120th, but maybe it's a little bit farther out there.
right.
My memory is suspect at this point. You're on pain pills and I'm on liquid pain pills.
No. Oh my Lord. But you know what though? I personally thought, so we live in town right now, but before we lived, well, so I've had a couple moves as you know, in Lincoln. But before that, I used to live in Schuyler. So when I lived in Schuyler, Christian works on cars day and night.
Yep.
And he he needs a long driveway. Like that's just his thing. That's what we need for him. Otherwise, I mean, most of the time he's living in the garage, literally. So with all the improvements in South Lincoln, one of the things that we thought about was maybe buying a couple acres out there and building. The house that I had in Schuyler was, oh my gosh, this was several years ago. So I want to say it was about 1,100, no more than 1,300. It was just a smaller house,
Right.
three
Yep.
bedroom, one bath, and we have the two kids. So that's one of the things that I was talking to him about. Christian's a fan of South Lincoln. He's not a fan of the driving though. He is spends most of the time in North Lincoln. So who knows? Maybe you'll see us in South Lincoln too pretty soon. We'll see. Well,
Well,
definitely.
if you're looking for a big lot with plenty of room, I've got a listing coming up just north of you that you're going to be helping me out with.
Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe I'm just buying that one from you. That would actually come very handy. That's what he needs. I'm a penny pincher at heart, and Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I think in the future, that's what we were planning to do. So we've been here in this property um almost a year. Almost a year.
God, it hasn't been a year. I remember when you moved into that place. Has that been a year ago?
Well, not fully. We moved in August.
Okay,
So
okay. I was
let's
gonna
see.
say, man, it hasn't been that long.
Right, right. Well, not a full year, but we're pretty close. So we'd have to hang around in this house for a while more before we make the move.
On Honduras time, it's a year.
I know.
Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, if you need any help with real estate in the Lincoln area, Candy is fluent in 3 languages, at least 3 that I know of. If my memory serves right, that would be Spanish, English, and Appalachian. Right? You know about Sagagalan and
So actually, Appalachian is my native tongue.
I don't doubt that a second.
So let me share something with everybody. So Jeff and I used to work with, well, he used to. I still communicate with this individual very often, and we were working on a project together, and he kept telling me about how there was a swim pool, and I kept thinking like, oh my god, like what kind of development is this, or what is this swim pool? And then I couldn't, like, I had no clue what it was. So I had to ask him, like, what is that? Like, please explain to me, because I never heard of that before. And then he's like, a swim pool. You never seen a swim pool? And I'm like, I have never.
Oh,
So,
I come from Guatemala. We don't have swim pool.
so then he pulls up a picture of a swimming pool. Pool. And I was like, what? A
say,
swimming
say that
pool?
one more time. Like,
So
let me turn my English ear on.
so it was very interesting, and he's the one that came up with the whole. He speaks Appalachian, so he has a southern accent, and it's there's some words that he says it differently, and we get a good
Yeah.
laugh out of it.
Yeah,
So
he's a good old country Tennessee boy, and some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, you just got to shake your head at.
so I actually saw him today, and it's always fun and interesting to be around him. He has great sense of humor. So
That he does. Yeah, I mean, you talk to the guy for a few minutes, you're gonna laugh, no doubt about it.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt at all. Hey, you know what else I was going to share with you? So, when we bought this house, we had negotiated, along with the purchase price and the whole contract, to have new windows placed in.
Oh, right. Yep.
I When we got a call from the contractor saying, we're going to go there this day at this time, and we should be done there. If we start at 8 a.m., we should be done by 5. And I was thinking, what? Like, really? It's going to take you guys that long? And it was 3 windows. The thing is that those windows were pretty big windows, maybe 8 foot tall or something along
Right.
those lines. So I think that was the first time that I seen a contractor put in a whole window, and to see what all goes into it. And 2 of the windows were so my house is a 2-story house. And so 2 of the windows were in the main floor, and one of those windows was in the second floor. So it was very interesting to see how heavy this window was. And not only how heavy, but to see them carry it on a ladder to the second floor. And I couldn't help and think, when I was like down on the ground level, like, oh my God, I really hope that window don't slip and fall.
That's all you could see was that window coming right down to the ground, wasn't it?
That was all I can think of. It's like, hopefully these guys, and there was somebody else holding the ladder. So they had a couple crew members throughout that area, but wow, they did a great job, and I couldn't help to be nervous for them though.
But that's impressive to watch those guys do that, where you think, how in the world are you going to get that up in that? You got this giant hole in the side of the house, 20 foot in the air, and how are you going to get that there?
Yeah.
A couple of boys on a ladder, they carry, like, you guys are crazy.
I know. And I think that just it reiterates why they're the experts on doing what each contractor specializes in, because they're great at it and they know how to put all that work together, and they know what's the best route to make sure it not only does it fit well, but cosmetically it ended up looking great.
Looks perfect. Yeah. And that's one of the other things, with going back with trusting the real estate professional that you're working with, because you need to have somebody who knows, the contractors, that knows the companies, that knows what direction to lead you in, whether you're talking about HVAC or plumbing or electrical or windows or siding. You can open up the phone book or Google or whatever and find somebody. But if you've got a good real estate agent that you trust, that has been around the block a couple of times, they know which one of those contractors will try and get in and get out to make a dollar as fast as possible, and which one of those contractors are going to come back to the same person asking for a referral. And that's something, it's just so invaluable if you've got a good realtor that you can trust, that has been in the community and knows these contractors. And that's something, you learn over time, and you can really help your clients out with. And I'm telling you, as a buyer, that is so important to have an agent that knows the community, the contractors and stuff like that. So that's a huge thing, to be able to offer your buyers that kind of knowledge.
It is. It really is. And like you said, I think having
This is my second one here. It's a short course, so don't worry about it.
I'm checking. I'm like trying to creep down on the computer to see. I'm watching you.
Take you another one of those tooth pills there.
No, I need to get better. That's what it is. I mean, I feel like it doesn't hurt. I have a little bit of like bruising towards.
How long has it been since the surgery, since you had them pulled out?
A week.
1 week.
But here's the thing though. So I am a person who I feel like I tolerate pain, but my body doesn't. And what I mean by that is, the other day, me and my kids were playing, and they hit me with like the ball or some toy or something by accident. It didn't hurt me. It wasn't painful. But the next day, I had like the biggest bruise and bump. I was on my leg, thank goodness.
Oh.
So, I tend to, I think like, I don't have any pain, but I think the bruising usually tends to drag on my body just a little bit longer than most people. And so that's what I'm seeing now. But
that you're saying that, I don't know why that reminded me of this, but I told you this story, I don't know, a year ago or so when I first heard it. I was with this couple in the little town that I was at in Colon, Nebraska. We stopped at the little bar there to get some beer to go. She runs inside to grab a whatever 18-pack or 30-pack of the Busch lattes. And she comes out and she tells her husband, in this little tiny town, little farming town, bunch of old farmers in there, she goes, WAP is on inside that bar. And so I'm like, oh, okay, pretending like I know what it is. 2 or 3 days later, I'm scrolling through Facebook There's a t-shirt on there that says, not all WAP is good WAP. So who is this band or what is this song? So I go on Google and what is WAP? And it comes, of course, on Google, the first thing that comes up is like wireless access protocol or something. I'm like, not all WAP is good WAP, not all wireless access. I can see it, but this was a song. I'm like, this can't, is there a band called WAP? So I turn to my go-to and I go to YouTube and I turn on YouTube and I type in WAP. It had nothing to do with wireless access protocol. Nothing at all.
Did it tell you to grab a bucket and a mop? That's
She was certified freak 7 days a week. I had no idea.
oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm a big Cardi B listener to the people that didn't know that, but
that's the only Cardi B I've ever heard in my life. It's seared in my brain and it won't go away as hard as I try.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Occur, you're gonna start saying occur now.
Occur. I don't know what that is either, but I'm not gonna Google it.
You're not gonna Google
I've learned my lesson. If you don't know what something is, don't Google it. Just don't. You're better off not knowing.
They were making a couple comments about it meaning, I think, waffles and pancakes, and they had so many different meanings. And then there was, after that song came out, they had other songs very similar to it. And then
I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna find. I've done enough damage to my brain. I'm not gonna look anymore.
Oh my Lord, we gotta get you some good songs. Not the WAP, but something different.
Well, we're gonna have to look somewhere else other than Cardi B for some good songs then, I think.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. We were watching a meme with Christian just yesterday, and it gave like she was either in the Golden Gloves award or
Golden Gloves is boxing, sweetheart.
No. There's awards for the singers.
But that's like Golden Globes, not Golden Gloves. You're all sagaggling.
Okay,
it's the same difference, you know.
Whatever.
¿Qué estás haciendo allá?
That's what I asked her. That's
what
I
asked. Say.
So they showed her like dancing and whatnot, and I'm like, oh my Lord.
Showed who dancing? Cardi
and Megan Thee Stallion. I don't listen to Megan a whole lot, but
I'm not going to Google that either.
I know you're not.
No. I swear.
Oh Lord. No, but so how's everything going out there in North Carolina?
So there's a couple of things I've really got to get used to. I got to tell you this. I've told a few people up there in Nebraska. And I absolutely love it. You know, don't mistake this for thinking I don't like it, because I absolutely love it. I don't remember when it was, in January, we had a storm come through and it got pretty cold. It got down to like that freezing mark, 30, 31 degrees or so. And there was a possibility of snow forecasted for that day. So I like you, I start early. I start my day on the base. I work at Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point in North Carolina. I start my day on the base at 6:30. I start early. And so this day they said, so base officially opens, colors goes at 8 o'clock in the morning. And so they said, because of this forecasted snow, there's going to be a 2-hour late start to work. Well, usually I'm there at 6:30. Well, because of this, you can't get on till 10. you can't get on base. Understand, there's Marines with guns that they won't let you on the base. You can't get on the base till 10 o'clock. So I'm like, well, so what about guys like me that start early? They're like, well, no, you start at 10 and you just get off at your regular time. Okay. So I took a video and I recorded this. And I was driving along, and there was a couple of spots where I could see with my eyes. I don't think it came. I watched the video. I don't think it came up on camera, but I could see a snowflake in the sky. Now, there wasn't anything on the ground. There wasn't anything on the road. It was super, super light, and it was mostly misty rain. It wasn't even really, but there was snow forecasted, and we didn't start till 10 o'clock in the morning that day.
Wow.
Today, we left at 1400 at 2 o'clock. We left at 2 o'clock today because there's forecasted severe weather here. Now, of course, earlier it was forecasted to be, level 5. It could be high winds and hail and possibility of tornadoes. And that was yesterday. And by today, it's level 4. And then by this afternoon, it's like, well, North Carolina and some places in North Carolina might get some severe weather. It's 75 degrees here. The flags aren't even standing out straight, waving from the poles. And we got off at 2 o'clock. You kicked off the base at 2 o'clock today because of this. It's going to be, Candy, it's going to be almost 30 to 35 mile an hour wind gusts. Can you imagine? So I sent a video to Matt. I'm like, I'm standing out here on my deck in this whoosh, whoosh wind here. That's because it's beautiful outside. It's foggy and cloudy, but there ain't no damn wind out there, and it's 75 degrees. I'm like, they're kicking us out of work. We get paid the whole day, but they kick us out of work. It's insane. I absolutely love it. So you get off work, you go to the beach.
That's a good way to look at things. Here, I remember going to school and they never canceled anything. It's like rain, hail, snow, sleet, tornado, you're going to school.
Yeah, that's what I told them. I said, well, I've been at work when there's been a tornado. You don't let work out because they're predicting there may be a tornado somewhere in the state. Like, you're not serious, right? Yeah, they kick you off base.
Wow,
so it's awesome. I'm not kidding you. It's 70 degrees outside. It's cloudy, but the branches outside aren't even moving. Some of the little leaves are floating a little. There's a good 3 mile an hour breeze out there, maybe. There's not even waves on the water. I can look from my table right here and I can see they're just boats. I call them yachts because they're like 36-foot, 3-story boats out there right outside my window. And this is, if you Google Beaufort, North Carolina, right outside my window is Town Creek Marina. And that goes right around to the back of my house. If I go out the front of my house here, it's 3 blocks to the ocean. And so you just take the Intercontinental Waterway right out here. You go out past the Rachel Carson, and you're in the ocean. And I got water on 3 sides of me here.
Wow.
It's awesome, and it's.
I'm sure you're loving the view. You don't miss all the corn in Nebraska.
The only thing that's bad is the people around here. It's funny when I drive by in the morning as the buses are coming to pick up the kids, and every once in a while you see one of the parents taking the kids out to the bus stop, and they're standing out there in heavy winter coats as if there was 10 inches of snow and 30 below zero. And I'm wearing just a short sleeve shirt driving in the car, and half the time I got the window down because I got sweat rolling. I'm sitting in the office, and the people in the office will have their jacket on, they'll have their heater on under their desk, and I'm here unbuttoning my shirt. I got sweat rolling down me, and they're like, "Oh, it's a little chilly out there." And I look at them, and they can see the sweat rolling down me, and I'm like, "Well, not for you."
That is so true.
It is 68 degrees outside. It is not cold.
Yeah, no, I can see that. So, what, it must have been a little bit over a month that we had 14 inches of snow. And shortly after, it was, I want to say 14 below, maybe 10 below. It was super cold out
It was
there.
wicked, right? And so my wife was there alone with the kids in Nebraska. Here I am loving life in North Carolina. How much am I going to owe her for that?
She's really the one sacrificing everything
Right?
out here. She can be out there looking at the ocean, looking at a water view frontage, and
That's what I asked the girls here. I said, so, and I'm sending them pictures of all the snow and the wind blowing and shit like that. I said, so what do I owe my wife? A week on the beach, a month on the beach, a lifetime on the beach? How much is this going to cost me?
I bet she's excited. I bet she can't wait to go up there.
Yeah, she's been out here a couple of times, and we've been taking turns flying back and forth. I've been to Nebraska a few times, and I'll go up there for like 10 days, like 30th of April to the 10th of May for like that graduation week, when Brett gets out. And I don't think that I mentioned on here, and I don't know if I told, or if you saw it on Facebook or not, Brett got accepted into the honors program at Kansas University.
Oh,
So that is awesome.
that is amazing. I think that's gonna open 100 doors for him.
I hope so. I hope he really, really takes advantage of the possibilities that could be there. I hope he just absolutely absorbs all of that and uses everything that's there. That could be awesome.
I hope so too. And I think you do a great job guiding them, just not just him, but like all your kids.
Oh, I hope so. I try. It's amazing when there was a cartoon that I saw. It says something about, and it's from the kids' perspective. It says, when I was 7, my dad knew everything in the world. He was the smartest man in the entire world. When I was 14, he was the dumbest person walking the face of the earth. And by the time that I was 21, I was shocked at how much that man knew. I couldn't believe how much he learned from the time that I was 14 to 21. And you look back as being young and what you thought the things that your parents were saying, and just thought they were just off their rockers and so far out in left field.
Yeah.
And you try and give your kids a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of guidance, and try and point them in the right direction, and try and give them maybe the ability to make the right choice on their own. I try not to do everything for them. I don't like the do everything for them. I like the approach of, I want to give you the tools to be able to figure this out on your own. I want you to be smart enough, good enough, strong enough to figure this out and do the right thing. And
I agree. And I think that's the most effective way to, not only educate your kids, but to give them those principles for life.
Because mommy's not going to be there their whole life. They're going to make decisions without mommy telling them what to do.
I agree. And you see the differences. My story, I ended up leaving home
Yep.
early, but it was my choice. And it wasn't a situation where my parents told me to get out. It was more of, I
I'm
started
going.
a family early, and now, and because of that, I had to grow up from this time frame, that I left home really quick, almost immediately. I just had to grow up. And then looking back at things, you kind of um, look at your classmates and people around that scope of things, and you realize the people that often have mom and dad doing everything, mom and dad calling everywhere, mom and dad, oftentimes have they stay at this place and they don't really go outside the box, to put it that way, versus somebody who, like you said, you teach them principles to make sure they're able to do things on their own, but you're right behind them, but you're
Right.
still telling them.
I'm not throwing you out to the wolves. I'm like, I want you to go out and figure this stuff out and make your own decisions and make your own choices. But no, goddamn good and well, I got your back. And if it doesn't work out and you F it all up and you can't do it, don't worry. We're here. You know, your kids are going to fail because you failed. I'll guarantee, promise you, I failed 100 times over. I've failed. I've messed shit up. I've done the wrong thing. I've taken the wrong turn. I've made the bad decision. And I know my kids will too, but I don't want this to come across wrong to say that I want my kids to fail, but I want my kids to fail. If that makes any sense, I want them to be able to trip and fall and pick themselves up while I'm still here to help them get back up. Dust yourself off and say, okay, that wasn't the greatest choice, was it? Let's work on making a better choice next time, right? It's
That's what life, we all, life is a learning journey, meaning you ideally you have a plan in mind and set up, and then if all things fail, you have to use that experience to learn and grow from it, and like you said, get back up and say, all right, well, try this, but now I know that if you do this, this happens. So it's all about moving forward. I think not being scared to fail is one of the biggest things. A lot of people don't try, and that's not ideal. A lot of
right.
people try because they're scared to fail. It's good to just be able to have a plan in mind and know that it might not work, but if it doesn't, at least you can grow from it and keep moving forward. That's one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest things, especially now. After you reach, I think your son's getting to a point where he's and becoming an adult, and he's going to realize that the world out there is harsh, and you have to be able to have that ability to keep moving forward, keep pushing hard, and expect to grow from those experiences.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that, uh, I think you and I kind of hit it off from the beginning. And I can tell, right off the bat from day one of talking to you that I know that you're going to be extremely successful because you're not going to let falling down and skinning your knees stop you from what you're doing. You understand that that's a thing that, look, it happens. It's the trip that takes you there, and you got to learn. You can't just get on a bicycle and ride. You have to crash and skin your knee. There's no way to get past that. You have to do it. And the maybe sad part is there's a lot of people who have fallen down and skinned their knee and refuse to get back on and won't try it because, like, well, I skinned my knee.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just don't do that. Don't talk yourself out of it because you got hurt one time. And whatever, business, life, love, I mean, anything. Don't give up. Don't quit on yourself because you crashed one time. I mean, and that's one of the great speeches. I think everybody ought to go on and listen to Joe Rogan does a really great speech on pursuing your passions, going after your dreams. Don't give up. It's hard to do. You have to fail, but don't quit. Don't go do what you want to do. Go be who you are supposed to be. And Joe Rogan does one of those amazing speeches. You probably have to ask Matt. He could probably tell you exactly what episode it was and what channel and everything like that. But this is still going to be number 2 because that first number 2 was a real short pour. Okay.
I'm checking to see how far that's getting up. But I love this topic, Jeff. I really do. I am, a lot of people think I'm a lot older than what I really am, which now I'm okay with. At one point I couldn't wait till I was 21. And then after I turned 21, now the years are going pretty fast paced. But that's all right, but anyways, my point is,
for the rest of the world, she's still a damn kid.
People just don't know that. I think initially when I left home and I had my daughter and I was through that learning period, a very big learning curve and learning about life, finances, how to take care of a family. I think at that point, I was a deer in the headlights, meaning I'm trying to look for guidance, but maybe some adults in my lifetime, not my parents. My parents have always been great. They've always been positive. I thank them. And, I see a reflection of the way that you teach your children and the way that you help them in how my parents helped me, because they were always very, very positive. But there was other people that you would think they would see. I'm going to call myself a kid struggling to make everything happen. And you would think that they would be like, keep going, you got this. No, oftentimes I was told, oh, you had a daughter, like you're done with, like you already have a family. You can't go to school. You can't do this. And for just a quick second, I believe that. I was like, they're right. I can't do this. I can't do that.
And that's the thing, Candy. If you take a second and you listen to that, it will control you. There is so much of that negative of you can't, you fell down and skinned your knee. You have to stop. There's so much out of there of that. And I don't understand it. I'm not the guy that is, oh, you can't do that. You fell down and skinned your knee. I'm the guy that's, all right, well, so let's try to prevent that again. So can you figure out what you did to do that? Or, okay, so let's go this way with it instead of leaning this way, but yeah. I don't care who you are, where you're at, the entire world. And I'm telling you, Candy, your friends, your family, the people that are close to you are the ones that are going to say, no, no, no. It's incredible.
It's very true. It's very true. And like I said, I think during that time frame, I was just a deer in the headlights, like what I do, I know what I want. I don't know. I have no clue how to get it.
How do I get there? How do I get to, this is what I want and I'm over here. How do I get there?
That's exactly where I was. And I didn't have an answer. I think I want to say 2 years went by. And during those 2 years, there was a big, like I said, a big learning curve. And at that point, that's where something clicked in me. Something clicked. And then I set my priorities, and I always tell people, work hard, get up early, go to sleep late if that's what it takes. But everybody can do anything. One of the things that I think I did that helped me with just moving forward in life was, first of all, if so-and-so is going to tell me I can't do something, I'm not going to associate with you. I'm going to remove you out of my life because you're not encouraging me in a positive way. Tell me,
and people need to do that. That is a very, very hard thing for a lot of people to do. And Candy, I wish you'd say that again, because people need to understand how important that is when people are negative, when people are bringing you down, when people aren't supporting you, when people aren't trying to raise you up to be the best you that you can be. I don't care how much you think of them. I don't care how much you like them. I don't care how much you think they're close to you or love you or that this person should be in your life. Like cancer, you got to cut that out.
I agree. I agree completely. And, once you remove that person that is not being a positive influence in your life, there's so many people, Jeff, that are willing to help others with advice, with shoot an internet link, some resource, and they wholeheartedly do it. Replace that person. Get that
Absolutely.
get that person that's not being supportive, replace them with the other individual. And I did that. Like I said, 2 years out being on my own, I did that to my whole circle. My life changed. My whole life changed. I started going to school. I was having a great income. I bought my house. I had a brand new car, and my whole life changed. And then now, as the years go on, I'm very focused. So I don't watch a whole lot of TV. You know that. I don't watch a whole lot of TV because
Except for, let me interject. However, Selling Sunset, you've watched the shit out of. And I know that because you got me hooked on that damn show. So
that
here's
was
to
so.
selling the Midwest and now the East Coast.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember how we had the idea of instead of doing so? Selling Sunset was a reality TV of real estate agents in California. Um, and the way Jeff and I saw it was very similar to a reflection of keeping up with the Kardashians. There was drama,
Right.
uh, there was some sales, and then there was some talk about the agents and whether that was really reality or if it was scripted, and how everybody was outside of Selling Sunset. So Jeff and I were actually talking like, hey, did you see this episode? Did you see that? And they had some really good ideas that they did in regards to marketing. They did a episode about doing something called Botox and help me out here.
Uh, burgers and Botox, right?
Burgers and Botox.
Burgers and Botox. So they had this open house, and to get people into the open house, they were serving burgers. And I don't think they were like, I think they were like fake plant pretend burgers. I don't think they were real burgers. And then they had somebody from Hollywood, whatever, there injecting Botox. So you came out and you go have a fake burger and get some Botox injected and look at this 30 or 40 million dollar 1,300 square foot house. You remember that open house that we went to down in downtown Omaha? Candy and I went to an open house in like I don't know, it was like an old building that had been like maybe an old industrial building that had been converted to condos or something like that. And was this maybe like a 900 or 1,000 square foot condo?
There was 2 levels. I want to say it was maybe 2000.
Was it that big? I didn't think it was that big. Because remember, we walked in the door. There's like the laundry room right when you walked in the door. You go past this where he had this office that had the built-in, it had that Murphy bed that pulled down.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like the living room. The kitchen was pretty cool. The kitchen, and so like the flooring was what, from like a railroad or what the hell was that flooring from? Do you remember?
Um, Gosh, I can't
Remember where it was
remember.
from. So anyway, we went to this downtown Omaha, like in the old market of Omaha, old building, I don't remember what it was before. Anyway, they converted it to condos or whatever. So we're up on what floor were we on? Sixth, seventh floor? How high were we up on this thing?
We must have been on the 7th.
I think so. So we're up on the seventh floor, and it's got this little outdoor patio thing, kind of cool. And you're up there in the old town, in the old market, Omaha, and so you could see over the river. You could see the whatever the baseball field is that the College World Series is at now, the TD Ameritrade, or what? Of course, TD Ameritrade sold, so but I think it's TD Ameritrade for a few years anyway. But we go check out this thing, and we're having. They got, what do they get? They got wine, and they got cheese and crackers and shit. And so we're going over there acting like we're somebody.
We were somebody.
We were.
They did have a chef in there. Remember that?
Yeah.
They had a chef in there.
They had a chef in there. They were, I mean, this place was, I don't know, this agent she had another agent, she had an assistant. I don't know, she had 3 or 4 people working for her or something in this open house. I don't know. That was kind of cool to go check out. It was, do you remember the price tag on that thing?
It was $1 million. It was $1 million.
Was it $1 million even?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like absolutely astronomical, crazy price to us, because at the time where we were at in Nebraska, what $1 million would buy you where we were at was a world of difference from what $1 million would buy you in downtown Omaha. So we went down there one night. It was kind of like a twilight open house kind of thing, or whatever. What it started at 7 or 8 o'clock at night or something.
It was, and then I think it was a good opportunity that you and I went together, because we wanted to not only look at this listing to ideally be a buying agent, since the listing agent was hosting the open house, but we also kind of were talking about the whole burgers and Botox. Obviously, we wouldn't do Botox here, not our open houses, but it gave us an idea of like, hey, we should do something different. Why incorporate what every agent does? Like, let's step it up a notch. Let's do something different. We went to this open house, and then you and I were talking about what worked, what didn't work. One of the things that, they had this open house, and they sent an email to you and I, and we are assuming several other people as well. And when you get to the building, you would expect to have easy access to this condominium.
We struggled to get into the place.
Only to call the listing agent, for the listing agent, I think, to send us to call her assistant. But the listing agent was there, and we understand, she probably doesn't want to get away from the open house itself, but it was a struggle to get up there.
And we parked we parked 2 or 3 different places. We walked several blocks up and down, and no, it's up here. It's by this restaurant or what. You come in by here. Well, no, you're up too far. You got to come down a block. No, it's on the east side of the building. No, come down. We struggled to get into the place. That shouldn't happen. I don't think that you have a showing of $1 million place if you're going to have people from out of town that can't even get to the right door.
Right. So that's one of the things that you and I were talking about, was when we do our open house, I think it helped us maybe refresh our memories, like thinking about the buyer. We need to make sure we are very visual, and we provide enough guidance to somebody that's not familiar with a neighborhood. We were familiar with the neighborhood, but just even then we couldn't, get
right. I mean, and think about it. This is a downtown huge building. It's all in one building. There's 3 or 4 restaurants, a record shop, this kind of shop. There's condos up on top. You can get in on this street, on this street, on this street, down on this street. But the one to come in was like, go past the restaurant, go walk in, down the alley, down, and there's a door here that's locked. Call us and we'll send somebody down. And that's how you're going to do $1 million listing, is come down to the alley, call us, and we'll send somebody down to unlock the door.
And then you call.
And we're standing out there knocking on the door. It's this number, right? Check your phone. What's the address of this place? We're knocking on the door. The door's locked. You can't even go into the open house. The door's locked.
So that's why if you're watching this, you need to work with Jeff or myself for real estate, period. We'll take care of you from start to finish because there's a lot of agents everywhere, Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, North Carolina. And I always tell people your experience is based on who you work with. Because I have worked with people who said, well, my last agent did this and that, and we didn't like that. So they look at the other agent, or in this scenario, myself, hoping that I don't do the same thing that the other agent does. So I explain, oh no, like if I am taking care of your listing, or if you're a buyer and you're looking to purchase a home, I will call you, I will text you. And like Jeff said, we have a great contact list of contractors, insurance agents, lenders, just anything and everything that you need, because that's what a whole team is about. It's not just you're going to go buy a house. It's about the whole experience.
It takes more than a buyer's agent to buy a house. It takes way more than that to buy a house. You have to have these connections. You have to know these people. You have to put in the time, the effort, the work. And, and that's one of the things that buyers out there, if you're buying a house, selling a house, you probably know people who have worked with 10 different agents, and they can tell you stories from this place, from this place, from this place. And if you're a buyer, you've probably worked with several different agents, and they can probably tell you stories of this person, this person. Sellers can probably tell you stories. And I'm telling you, and I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass here. I'm telling you, the buyers and the sellers that have come to me and have used me won't go anywhere else. And I can promise you the same thing's true with Candy. The buyers and the sellers that have come to Candy and used Candy won't go anywhere else, because they understand how rare it is to get somebody that puts in the work, the effort, the time, and has the knowledge to do this kind of stuff. Because I really hate to compare real estate agents to used car salesmen, but everybody in the world does. And that's how the world looks at a real estate agent, as a used car salesman, and there's one on every corner. And until you find that good one, you have nothing but bad things to say. But I promise you, you find somebody like me, or you find somebody like Candy, and you work with Candy one time, you're not going to go anywhere else. I promise you.
I agree.
And that's the difference.
It's a big team to make sure that person has this nice smooth transaction when buying or selling. And oftentimes we're the face of that whole group, like I said, going from contractors, insurance agents, and lenders. Everybody that we recommend to the buyer or seller, when they're moving from one point to another, is everybody who we have worked with in the past, and we know for a fact will also take care of that person. And we establish a good communication. The least that you want to do is oftentimes, we have a family member that is telling, I think this comes across more when it's a mom and dad and the kids are buying a house, and they tell the kids, well, I worked with, Jane Smith over here.
Right.
Well, Jane Smith never gives them a call. And Jane Smith tells them, I'll get your house, but it's on you to find all your other resources. So again, talk to us.
Jane Smith won't hang her hat out on a line and say, hey, this is the guy you need to call to take care of this for you.
I agree.
And trust me, I got the guy. I know the guy that will fix this for you. And Candy knows the guy that will fix this for you. And I don't care what it is. Windows, plumbing, HVAC, siding, foundations. Trust me, Candy and I have been in this long enough. I hate to admit it, me a little bit longer than Candy, but I won't say how much longer, but but she's been around the block enough times to know which guys do good work and come back and ask Candy for a referral for somebody else. Say, hey, I did this work for your buyer here. I did this work for your buyer here. Hey, I fixed this for your seller here. I'm trying to get a referral. Will you give me a good word for somebody that I'm trying to do work with over here? And the reason that they come back to Candy for that is because they did quality work and they fixed the things that she needed fixed and took care of her clients. And that makes a world of difference in the real estate world.
It really does. And, you know, I think with that communication and that relationship too, it gives the client a peace of mind saying, oh, so we're telling them you don't have to call, 5 different contractors. We already, we have a list, and they're great people, amazing people, have great work ethic, and they stand behind their work, and you either guarantee that if it's something where they need to come back, they'll come back. And
absolutely. And that's the difference between having somebody that's done the work before and comes back and asks for a referral, because look, all of us are human. All of us make mistakes. All of us do something wrong at some point. But the difference is how many of us are willing to stand up and say, hey, I did that wrong. Let me take care of it. And how many of us are going to run from it? And that's the difference with having a real estate agent who has been around and has dealt with these and same thing with real estate agents. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. I've done things wrong. But I stand up and raise my hands. Hey, I'm the guy that did this wrong. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make it right for you. And some people absolutely refuse to do that. And I can't wrap my mind around it. I don't understand it, but I know people run from it and hide from it. I'm like, I got a wife. I know I'm not perfect. She's told me more than once how not perfect I am.
Oh,
no. Right?
I don't know. Christian does tell me I'm pretty perfect, especially on the weekend. So then I don't ask him to take me out on an expensive lunch date. If he tells me I'm perfect, I'm usually okay just going to the taco truck for $1 tacos,
Well, I'm telling you what, you can't beat them taco trucks. That's one of the things that's real nice down here in North Carolina. Man, there's food trucks everywhere. You got food trucks from every place in the world, and they send them everywhere. They come down here. I don't care what bar, what place you go to, there's a food truck outside selling you food. I must say I went to Subway today and got me a Subway salad. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. There's this barbecue truck out there in the parking lot of Subway on base. I'm like, one got me a Subway salad.
Oh my God. You know what? You're going to have you tried birria tacos?
Down here,
Or just anywhere. Have you tried them?
No.
Oh my Lord. So birria tacos they have a sauce, and the tortilla, the shell is, well, you can have it toasted or not toasted. And I prefer mine toasted, and it has the beef inside, and it has cheese.
Is it shredded, or is it the fucking
Shredded.
hamburger that they make? Okay, all right.
Shredded. And
I don't know if you saw the first one. One of the conversations that I got into, the guy that I knew from middle of Nebraska, he's down in Arizona now. And one of the conversations that we got into was from south of the border food. And I said, one of the things that pisses me off, you go into a Mexican restaurant here and they serve you fucking hamburger. I go, I ain't never in my whole entire fucking life eaten hamburger south of the border in a goddamn taco. It's shredded beef. What the hell is wrong with you people?
I know. No, I not every some places call it authentic and it's not authentic. You're like, get that title off your.
It's hamburger's not authentic. There ain't no such thing.
I
No, I've
know.
never been across the border, Holmes.
You know what? Okay, so my daughter. Okay, so I think me and my son eat very much alike, and then Christian and my
But
daughter.
let everybody know that's your white son, right?
So my daughter and Christian, they both eat very Hispanic or Latino food. So oftentimes, with just trying to be able to cook for everybody, we make a lot of obviously Hispanic or Latino food. So now when I'm on the road or when I'm, working on projects,
Right.
acquiring land, anything of real estate related, I oftentimes don't want to go to authentic, Mexican, Hispanic foods because that's all I cook at home. So oftentimes I try to go for um, like Chinese. What else do I go to? I've gotten some gyros. I like them, and just kind of different nationalities.
You know that gyro's not pronounced a gyro, right?
What the hell? So what is it pronounced?
It's a gyro.
What?
What is the matter with you?
I was testing you.
Be, say, de.
Wait, is it really
What?
gyro?
No.
Oh my lord! My point is, I cook so much.
Gyros, not gyros.
Well, no, I don't cook that, but so when I go out, I like eating other food. I
I
don't.
think I've had enough whiskey because my face is turning red.
Oh no.
Look at that. My face look red to you?
No, I think it seems the same shade.
Okay, then I haven't had enough whiskey. I'm out of ice, however, so I'm drinking my whiskey neat now, which I usually don't do.
Oh Lord. I'm.
I was going to get me a cup of ice here to put some more ice in my cup if I needed it, but I didn't think that I was going to have two and two whiskeys.
2 plus 2 equals something else.
Oh.
No, I'm still drinking a bunch of water, but with not being able to eat like solid protein, because I'm still healing. I've been drinking a lot of shakes and smoothies and soft foods. I mean, I'm kind of like just.
So by shakes and smoothies, you mean ice cream and malts and
I don't have much choice, I have to. The thing is that like I'm one of those people that at 11, I have lunch between 11:30. And that's like one of the biggest meals that I need. I need to have my protein. I need to have meat and
Candy, I've been to lunch with you. You order a plate and you eat like a quarter of it. You're like, I'll take a box for this.
So the other day, Tom and I went out to lunch. And so here I was eating.
You go to Rosie's? Where'd you go?
Yeah, we went to Rosie's. And when we were at Rosie's, I'm like, oh my Lord. I'm like, I'm so full. And then he's like, oh, I know what you need. I'll get you the box. Like, don't even. And then so it must have been like a Monday or something. And then he's like, I know this food will last you till Wednesday. So
What'd you have? Chicken fried steak on Monday?
I did.
Damn, Candy, it's like I almost know who you are.
Oh my Lord. I love it. It wasn't like just now. It must have been a couple weeks ago because I can't eat. So as soon as I'm completely healed, that's probably what I want. It's a chicken fried steak. And I think I'm going to finish my plate this time from not eating.
Well, promise me this. Promise me this. You're going to make a trip down to North Carolina with the kids and Christian, You're going to come down and you're going to have some seafood. You're going to come visit me. We're going to sit on the dock. We're going to have a whiskey or a beer or a. You're going to pour some margarita. Hell, I'll drink a margarita if you're going to pour some margaritas. What's the Guatemalan drink of choice?
So they have so Guatemala specializes in something called Quetzalteca, which is your stronger version of tequila. So trust
It's
me,
not agave. What is it from? Is it from agave or what's it from? Do you know?
It's derived from agave. I'm not sure, to be honest, but when I lived over there for the 2 years, gosh.
Like until this afternoon. I mean, you just got here this afternoon on the boat.
Oh no, I've been
Fresh off the
here
boat.
a lot longer. But you drink like a little.
Welcome, Candy, to the Estados Unidos.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like you drink something like this big, like which is not very big at all, and it.
That's what she says.
No, I'm not even kidding. And I would see people just
drinking it straight though.
Out. Yeah, it's so strong. I myself would never drink it. I mean, I like fruity drinks though. I'm not a heavy.
You are kind of fruity.
I'm all around, huh? All around. But yeah, they have a pretty strong drink. It's I think it's stronger than tequila,
but it's just tequila.
No, I think it's a little bit stronger. Like I don't know what it is that I'll have to get you.
Can I order a bottle of it and have it ready for you when you come visit me in North Carolina?
Maybe.
Find the name, find the website, send me the link. I'll order it. And you guys come down and visit, and then you make me whatever drink you make down.
Well,
over pineapples, or you guys don't have pineapples down, do you?
Oh yeah, there's everything out there. We have a Walmart. Did you know that?
No, you don't have Walmarts down there.
Yeah, we do.
No, that can't be.
I'll prove it to you.
I'm glad you made it off the boat.
It took me a while to get off that boat. I almost ended up in Canada.
Well, I mean, you had to take the boat to the train to claim what asylum, or what did Quasimodo want in the church? What did he call? Sanctuary. Remember when Quasimodo ran into the church?
I don't know who that is.
She's not from America, boys and girls. Central America doesn't count as America. Only Estados Unidos counts as America.
Oh, you'd be amazed. I think you have a lot more in your heart that you speak. You do they know that you speak pretty good Spanish?
No, there's probably 4 people that watch this that saber que yo puedo hablar español.
Y lo puedes hablar muy bien. Muy bien.
No recuerdo mucho. Estoy borracho. But they don't know what that means, so don't say that, all right?
Yo escuché que tú hablas inglés, español y malas palabras.
I'm very bad at my words. I sound like a gringo when I say my words. And unlike you, I can't even speak any Appalachian. I'm all Sagagalon when I try to say that. I don't even know how to get in a swim pool.
In a swim pool. We'll have to have him teach you how to do that. He's the one that taught me that. So it's gonna be a different experience here. We're gonna have to teach him English, Spanish, and Appalachian. Everybody that's watching us.
That's gonna be a long lesson.
No, but we'll have to get out there sometime. So my birthday's in August, and Christian and I were kind of talking about,
well, my birthday's in August too.
What day?
26th.
Really?
Yes.
Mine's on the 12th. So maybe we'll have to.
Let's split it in half and have a happy birthday Guatemalan tequila North Carolina dock party.
There you go. There
How's
you go.
that sound? You'll be turning 22 and I'll be turning, let's see, minus 37 equal, I'll be turning 22.
Oh my God, I swear. I was telling you I looked forward to my 21st birthday. And then after that, I do not look forward to my birthdays anymore. Oh my Lord.
Candy, my second whiskey is gone and I don't have any ice.
Well, that's good. I think that's a sign telling us that we need to slow down.
I usually
I
drink my whiskey over ice because I don't put my whiskey with anything. I just put it on ice to cool it down.
that
So it doesn't burn going down my gullet.
Oh my God. I went downtown Haymarket area and they were about to close one of the places that we were at. And at these
Where you were
places,
dancing WAP.
in one of these places, we're referring to places, they were about to close at 11 o'clock. And so I remember me and my friend were there and they asked us if we wanted a Long Island. And I was like, normally I have like Sex on the Beach or Tequila Sunrise.
That's what I'm looking forward to down here in North Carolina. It hasn't happened yet, but I got my fingers crossed.
We need to get Rachel out there a lot faster then.
Right.
So those are my drinks that I usually have. So anyways, they told me if I wanted a Long Island, and I was like, sure. So I got served one, and then I think it was like 10 minutes before they were gonna close, and then they're like, hey, do you guys want another one? And I was like, sure. And my friend got one too, and my friend is very used to drinking, and she can drink and not
You
get
say that
drunk.
as if you're not used to drinking and
I am not.
partying and whopping on the dance floor.
I'm not. So I had the first Long Island. I got down to it and I thought, oh my God, this was strong. And then it started hitting me like, wow, I see what's going on. I should have slowed down. I didn't. And then went for my second one. Never again. Never again.
Rachel loves those Long Islands. She'll go some like oh man, what is that restaurant in Nebraska that's like a burger joint? Applebee's. I think Applebee's has like $2 Long Islands or $1 Long Islands or some shit on Wednesdays or something. So you show up there and it costs you $1 and they'll only give you like 2 or 3 of them. But it costs you $3 and you can get absolutely wasted outside of your mind.
Crazy. No, I was not okay. So I ended up going on Friday. Saturday, I was like, I was just trying to survive. And that's what it was.
You know, that's one of the nice things down here in North Carolina. They'll let you have as much as you want. They don't care.
Really?
I go down, there's a wine bar block and a half, 2 blocks from my house. And I go down there. And so I just take the bottle of wine off the shelf and take it up to the bar and they open it up and they start pouring me and I just buy the bottle of wine. And I guess for the people that don't drink the whole bottle of wine, they'll cork it for you and let you take it home. I've never experienced that, but
Wow.
it's nice.
Yeah, you can either get knocked out there or get knocked out at home. Either way, it works out. It's better to
I have to walk the block and a half back home before I can get knocked out.
No, I love to keep my sanity. So after those 2 Long Islands, it was an experience that I will not experience very soon. I can tell you that for sure.
Well, I promise you, the house that I buy here in North Carolina is going to have a bar in it.
Ooh, that's gonna be nice.
Rachel is a hell of a bartender,
Really?
and she's bartended for, I mean, she's only like 19 years old, but she's bartended for like 39 of her 19 years. I mean, she's good. She can make the hell out of some drinks.
Oh, that's
Andy,
awesome.
this cup is empty, and we're either going to have to get some ice and continue this conversation or cut it off. What do you say?
You can't leave me hanging here. So
All right.
we'll have to you'll have to circle back at me.
Circle. You know what happens when she circles back, right? Nothing. If she doesn't ever circle back. Let me open up one of these white doors here and go find some ice. Give me like 19 seconds. I'll be right back. I just
Okay, I'm counting.
2 cubes of ice on the count of 3. 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4.
What room is that? Is that your kitchen? Let me grab something quick.
You weren't even sitting down there counting.
I was over here timing you. I'm like, let me turn on my timer.
I looked. I came through the door and there wasn't anybody on my camera.
What room is that? Is that like your kitchen?
That's my kitchen.
What do you have on the other side?
So that goes down the hall to the stairs to my bedroom and my bathroom, and then that goes to my bathroom.
Gotcha.
You ought to check out the tub. If there wasn't people watching, I'd take my camera off of my computer. I'd take you into that bathroom and show you my badass tub that I have. It's jetted tub. Not that I know from experience, but it can fit 2 people easily. Another short pour.
Yeah. Yeah, short. I see that going.
Mi, qué suerte. ¿Qué estás haciendo ya?
Yo vi que se bajó muy rápido, muy rápido.
Rapido? I don't even know what you're talking about. We've been on the phone for 9 hours. It's not rapido.
It's not rápido.
You're all sagagalan. I think you've had 1 too many tooth pills.
Oh no, I am trying to like stay away from them and just trying to heal. I don't know. Does that make sense though? It feels tender, but it's not hurting. It's like it's still processing, whatever. So I need to stop processing. It's
you know what I do? This is going on the internet. I'm not going to tell you what I would do. We'll save that for a conversation when you get down here to North Carolina and we're sitting out on the dock and having one of those Guatemalan tequilas that are
so. I think it'd be fun to go out there. I really do. It'd be nice if Christian would enjoy traveling. He's a little bit like me, like we're both workaholics, and now we're with the kids being older, it's easier to actually, either go on a plane or car, whatever the case is, depending where we're going. And it's great to have those experiences with them because then, last year, no, it must have been 2 years ago, we went to Adventureland and they loved it.
That is a fun place. We used to take the kids over there like once a year over there to Adventureland over in Altoona, Iowa. Mm-hmm. It's kind of set up for the smaller kids. I mean, there's some big kid rides there and whatever, and they got the water park and so if you don't have kids, you can go like right across the street and just go bet horses, and it's a good time over there too. But I mean, that's the perfect place. I mean, you got little kids, they got hotels, they got the little kid rides, they got the water park. I think they used to have, I'm pretty sure Altoona used to have the circus when we were there. I don't know if they still have the circus there or not. I think they might have shut that down.
Mm, I don't know. What ended up happening was, going back to Christian being a workaholic, I was trying to plan a trip to Adventureland, and there was, I think, maybe Worlds of Fun. Like we were kind of debating between the two. Where do we go? Do we go here or here?
Right.
And then we, after we looked online, I think we ended up just deciding, let's just go to Adventureland next year. We'll, do Worlds of Fun and so forth. So, anyways, Christian said, all right, go ahead and get something for the weekend out there. And no, he said, we'll see. And if we end up going, we'll just get something on our way out there, meaning a hotel room and everything. So I'm like, yeah, it's Iowa. How busy can it be? It's not like we're going to Florida or California.
Right.
So what I failed to review was that there was the state fair was going on as well. So we're driving from Lincoln to Iowa, and then somewhere around Council Bluffs area, I decided to go ahead and call and now to book a hotel for the same date. So I'm calling a hotel, and then I asked them, hey, do you have a bedroom for 2 kids, 2 adults for today? I think we're gonna stay there 2-3 days. And they're telling us that they're completely booked for the weekend.
They're like, are you crazy?
So I'm wondering, I'm like, why are they booked? But whatever. So I hang up, call the next hotel. They're booked for the weekend. I hang up, I call another hotel, and then I ask them, like, what do you guys have going on that you guys are all, but we're still driving and I'm making these calls.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you guys have going on that every hotel that I've been calling is completely booked out? And then they were telling me, well, it's the state fair. So I'm like, so like, get us a room. And we ended up calling.
Like, we're not going to the state fair, Holmes.
I was like, what the heck? Everybody's out there. And we ended up staying in a hotel an hour away just because we were already on the road, and we didn't plan it ahead of time. So I blame Christian for that. So now this time
I would too if I was you. I'd blame Christian too.
So this time around, I told them, we should go somewhere, but this time we will make reservations before time. Note to self that we won't go when there's a state fair to this specific area. and so we ended up
So now there's the whole world in Candy that knows when the Iowa State Fair is.
And now I know exactly when it is, when not to go. Can you hear my dog? He just came in.
I do hear him.
He's excited to be in here. Hey,
Hop him up on your lap. Say hi.
hold on.
Tell him say hi.
Maris. He's kind of a chunky
Come on,
guy.
Ace. Come on.
Can you see him?
Hi. You gotta say hi. Hi, Ace. Hi.
He's like,
He's getting big. He was like
he's all
this
muscle.
big last time I saw him. He was tiny.
Yeah.
He could fit in one hand.
No, not anymore. He's so full of muscle. Like he's only, I don't know, I'm gonna say like 2 feet by a feet tall. But God.
2 feet by a feet?
Yeah, he's not very big.
How do you measure down there?
Like with my arms? Like
I with my
but he's solid, he's just very solid.
Solid, yeah.
If I have to guess, he's probably like easily 50 to 60 pounds. And we go walking and he does very well, but he sees a squirrel that he wants to like go chase, and he pulls on the leash, and like we really, have to kind of grab it. He doesn't pull just for no reason. Like when we're walking, he stays within our side, but he sees a squirrel, he sees something, a bird, and he wants to go, right? Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
but he's such a good dog. Thank goodness that we got him. So we actually got him last year around this time. So he just turned a year old in February, first week of February. And when we got him, we were actually, so it was middle of pandemic and we were working remotely. Everybody was doing a bunch of Zoom, WebEx meetings, and the kids were doing remote learning as well. So I think just being at home, and we weren't used to being at home. We kind of have this weekend routine that on Sundays we go out somewhere and go have lunch. Like that's our kind of
Right.
family
Your
routine.
family time.
And so we didn't do that. You know, we just cooked at home. We kind of I used to say we sacrificed Christian by sending him to the store and he would get us groceries and we would cook and just really stay home as much as we could. So I think we were just bored and it was a nice sunny day. So I told Christian, I was like, hey, let's go to Columbus, which is an hour and 30 minutes away from Lincoln,
Yep.
and let's go to the taco truck. And we were just, we were literally bored.
The one there on the highway going east and west through Columbus, right there by the. It's not a grocery store. What the hell is it? It's like
It's the one by BD's on going to like Ag Park, the horse
yeah,
race.
right where you turn to go down to the horse races to the ag park.
It's that one.
That's it's BD's on this corner. And what's on the corner where they park at?
It's a clock tower building. It's like that's the name of the building. Clock
Yeah,
Tower.
there's like, but it's like a little. Isn't Clock Tower doesn't Clock Tower have like a little I don't know, like a little strip mall type thing? There's like 4, 5, 6 stores in the thing.
hmm Yeah, that's where we went to, and it was just us trying to get away from our house. Like we were just at the house the whole time, and we just wanted to take a cruise. And I think again, this was a time where nobody really knew much about COVID, and with us having kids, we also didn't want to risk anything. And
And I would like to thank you for wearing your mask during this meeting. I appreciate that. So
so we ended up going to Columbus for burritos, right? So we went over there and then on our way back, and keep in mind, we were slowly coming back. Like we cruised around Columbus just for a little bit. And then on our way back, Christian gets a text message.
were the horses racing when you were up there?
I don't know because we just ended up going straight to the taco truck and then just kind of cruised around the main
I don't
streets.
know how you not get that close to Ag Park and go see if horses. I can tell you probably right off the top of my head what dates horses are racing there.
Well, at that point, everything was kind of shut down. Everything was closed. So we didn't even bother to go back there.
Telling you, no matter to me, Holmes, I'm gonna go anyway.
I didn't go. And when we were coming back, Christian got a text message from one of his friends that they just had puppies. And there was a litter and the litter was ready. So then Christian, again, with everybody just kind of being bored at home, the kids are home, they're learning remotely, they're not seeing other kids, and especially my daughter, she's very, very social. So she misses all her classmates, all her friends, and all that interaction. So then Christian thought, what if we go look at these puppies? And I'm like, no, because I love dogs and I know I'm gonna want one. I love them. I've had pit bulls all my life. I had my most recent pet was a Shih Tzu that I had to end up putting down.
Right, yeah.
Anyways, and then I told him if we go look at the puppies, I have a feeling we're not gonna leave without one. Like we're gonna have to take one home, and that's not the goal. We're both pretty busy that
I think
that we're not home often to
it's
give
a
up.
lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of input. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of time. You can't just leave a baby puppy there at home and go to work and come home 10 hours later and expect things are going to work. It doesn't work like that.
It really doesn't. And then it would make me feel sad for the dog because it needs attention, it needs love, and so
It needs
anyway.
something to do. It needs guidance. You can't, dogs don't just set alone by themselves. That's not how they operate. That is not how dogs work. You can't do that to them.
Yeah, no, it really, but when we got him, I want to say it was the perfect timing because we ended up stopping with his friends. And I said, if you're going to see them, you get off. I'll stay in the car with my kids and then we leave.
I like how you say at certain times when you want it to be they're your kids. And then when they're acting up and out of control, they happen to be Christian's kids. How does that work? Just how does that work?
It's so bad. So I think oftentimes I say my kids that actually when other people hear me, they're like, oh wait, so it's not Christian and yours? And I'm like, it is. It's just they're mine.
They're being good right now, so they're my kids.
Well,
God damn it, Christian, come get your kids. You know what your children are doing?
And I think I say my kids so often that Christian, at one point, he started saying, your kids. Are you going to take your kids to soccer practice?
I would too if I was him. Like, take your damn kids here. I jest. I really do. If half the people knew me that were listening to this, there's her kids, there's my kids, there's our kids, it doesn't make any difference. They're all our kids.
It's true. But so at this point, he got off. He went to see the puppies, and he comes back, and then he says, I'm gonna get the kids off. So then I'm like, that's fine. So the kids get off, and then my daughter is super happy. And keep in mind that it was kind of depressing being home and having this drastic change.
Right. I mean, it was a huge change for all of us. It's like, what in the hell do we do? I mean, none of us were ready for that.
Yeah. And I think, at one point I thought it was, oh, it's nice. We get to work remotely. We get to implement different virtual.
I don't have to go to the office. It's awesome.
It was nice. But then after a while, I'm like, I miss talking to Jeff. I miss talking to other people.
I'm glad you said that first. My name, yeah.
My name is Jeff. Who does that? Was that?
I don't know. That's on one of those memes or something. I don't know.
Mimi. I'm laughing at Appalachian now. I thought they're memes, not memes.
Are you speaking to English or what?
Memes.
No, like here in the Estados Unidos, we call them memes.
Memes. They're called memes, not memes.
Oh, well, all right. So us old, fat, bald, white guys call them memes.
Oh my Lord.
So no, you were talking about watching memes earlier, and I argued with my son. I'm like, wait, aren't the memes just the pictures that have words on them? It's like, Dad. Well, what? Don't they just have pictures with words? He's like, no, some of the vines have memes. I'm like, well, are they vines or are they memes? For the love of Christ. Jesus de Cristo, what are they?
Oh my Lord.
I'm just trying to follow along here.
I know. They have so many things out there now that now they implemented TikTok. And then at first when I heard TikTok, I was like, what is that? Or don't we have like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, like now TikTok, so there's so much that changes out there and everything.
It's like I was telling one of the, like a couple of the gals that I work with here in North Carolina, I said, I've got a, I don't know, an IT manager and a I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, marketing manager. And I said, so I had just like this. I had a Zoom meeting the other night with them. And they said, are you interested in this? And I kind of told you about that earlier in the conversation, this like Matterport type camera type thing that does this 2D, 3D, the walkthrough, the all this kind of stuff. And they showed it to me, and I said, well, yeah, I'm really interested, enough interested as in, here's my credit card number, order it, send the shit right now. But I said, I was talking to these guys, I said, isn't that crazy that like the day before they called me, without my phone, without a camera, without nothing, I was in here and I was talking to you about a way to do a walkthrough of a house here in North Carolina that I could show my wife in Nebraska without shaking and looking like this as I walk through the house. Isn't that crazy? And then so my like one of my the gal that I have an Instagram and I have a Facebook and I have a I don't know whatever for Whitaker's Realty. And I can absolutely 100% promise you, I've never been on the Instagram. I don't know, I've got 5 or I have 500. I don't have any idea, but I've got posts on there. I've got shit that's on it, but none of it's me. I haven't done any of it. So she's on this site and she's looking through stuff, and this ad comes up for this camera deal. So we do a Zoom meeting like this. She's like, have you seen this? Are you interested in this? And I'm like, well, that looks like a Matterport. What the hell is this thing? I'm like, well, yeah, I am, but there's no way I'm gonna spend $3,500 on a camera and $150 a month on the. I ain't doing it.
Right.
She's like, well, no, that's not what this is. How does that happen that I'm literally in North Carolina talking to people about how to do a walkthrough that's not, the camera's not shaking like this, so you're watching the screen going like right?
I know. I know. I think too, it has to do with maybe I wonder if you, like you said, you Googled something and then it captures like the data that you're
Well, I'm sure that I did, but so the girl that does all of the social media stuff for me, she just happened to log on the page and she's looking through it. She's like, well, we haven't posted anything, and it's been a long time since we posted anything because I moved down here and I'm trying to get stuff set up and I'm trying to buy and this, that, the other. And it's like, I got 10 million other things going on than trying to post stuff right now. And so she goes online and she's like, well, what's this? Look at this little camera thing. We got to set up a call. Are you interested in this? I'm like, where the hell did you see this? Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. I'm very interested in that.
No, they're very handy. They have some companies, some marketing companies too that offer the service that you might not necessarily have to buy the whole camera. So there's so much technology nowadays
And it
that
happens so fast. So fast. I mean, like the stuff that we thought was top of the line 5 years ago is absolutely garbage now. And the stuff that's coming out now, it won't take very long for it to be replaced with brand new stuff that's way better than that. It's just, and that's where you got to have somebody that is constantly doing it, is constantly engaged, and knows this stuff. I mean, you can't just take an agent that your mom knows. I mean, you have to have somebody that is engaged in this stuff, that knows this stuff, that is working with it every day, that sees it, because it's incredible how fast things are changing. I mean, coming from an old, fat, bald, white guy like me, things are changing a lot faster than they are to a little pretty south of the border girl like you.
no, it changed. Everything changes so fast in general. And actually, here in Nebraska, you know how Lincoln had the Midlands MLS and Omaha had the
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's together now.
that's together. And then as of February 1st, we actually merged contracts. So now you no
I
longer have.
just downloaded that new contract. That's actually the newest contract that I sent out, and that's something that we'd been talking about for probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And within the last, I don't know, 10 days was the first time I actually downloaded that new contract.
Yeah, there's a lot of improvement.
I
I
sent
like
that out,
it.
I sent that out to a client actually between Omaha and Lincoln, a little bit east and a little bit north of the house that are coming up for sale that I just actually did a purchase and a sale on a house out there while I'm here in beautiful North Carolina. But that was the first time I used that contract. We've been talking about that for a lot of years, combining these things. And that was the first time that I used it.
What did you think about the new contract? Did you like it?
Actually I did. I didn't think that I would. I thought that I was going to have a lot of complaints with this. But from coming from the middle and using this one and using this one and trying to put it together with the one that we're using over here, and us guys in the middle, we're trying to put three different things together to put this contract together, and we're trying to make something that'll work. I like it. I like that contract a lot. Have you used it yet?
I have, and I really like it. There's a lot of things that we would, or the Lincoln contract that we would write out and state, buyer to pay, buyer and seller to split, title fees,
Right.
the
And
seller.
that's right in line. I don't know, a paragraph 15 or whatever, and it's right in line. It says, unless you do this, I mean, it's split 50-50 unless you change it.
Right.
And
So
that's how usually I would write it, is that, that buyer and seller agree upon whatever.
yeah, so I really liked it. It basically put a lot of forms together. We used to also have the inspection addendum. So,
Right.
aside from purchase agreement, you have another sheet that you would,
And
request.
the rest of us never did. The rest of us never did that, except for when we came to Lincoln to buy a place. It's like, what do you mean release from addendum? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. But
So
you
now,
guys did that all the time, and we never did it.
right. And now everything's together. So it's literally, you go page by page, and every bit of information is there that you can say yes, no to the inspections and home warranties, and everything else that you need is there. So I like it. I enjoyed it. Um, I've used it a couple times here now, and I see the benefit. The only thing that I'm kind of questioning is, I want to say, maybe like the second to last page. It gives you a checklist of, did you have buyer and seller sign the lead-based paint? Did you have buyer and seller review seller disclosure? And when you put something like that, based on the property that you're acquiring, there's a lender that had requested the seller disclosure, which was
Right.
not part of the former purchase agreement. And then there's the other lender, lender B, that won't request the seller disclosure, although it's a checklist of the purchase agreement.
Right.
So,
It's not required all the time. You don't always have to do that.
right. See, the thing is, with this new contract, now it's become a checklist.
Right.
So I'm curious to know how now they're going to go about it versus before it wasn't even in the purchase agreement. So I think that's
Well, and I think that might be sometimes more laid out for maybe both the title company and the lender. And if the lender requires it, they want these boxes checked. And if the title company needs this, they want these boxes checked. And maybe, 6 out of the 10 got to be checked by the time that you go through the lender and the title company. And so I think the problem might come in that as agents, we don't know which boxes this lender or which boxes this title company are going to require to be checked.
Right. There's still, I mean, I like it all. It's just, I think we'll just everybody kind of getting used to it. Normally you still have some questions on there, but otherwise overall the new contract is very helpful, very resourceful. Everything's on there and
I like it, and like I said, I've only used it once, but the one time that I used it and that I did put this purchase together, I liked it. I think it works good. Ace, what do you got? You got some papers for me? What do you got? Come on, give it here.
he can hear you. He's like looking like where
Ace, you got a note? Come on, Ace, bring it here. Come on, give it to mom. Come on, Ace, give it to mom.
he's like, who's talking? He's like looking around the room like who's talking?
Give it to mom, Ace. Come on.
He's such a good dog. When he's home, he's pretty mellow. And then when we tell him like it's go time, we gotta go get the kids from school, or we're gonna go to the store. Then
What's he got for you? What are you trying to get from him?
he has a paper. I think it's one of the kids' come here.
Snag that from him and tell us what it is. That better not be the proverbial "the dog ate my homework," because if that's the dog ate my homework, you're in trouble for that one.
Oh no, I tell my kids, I was like, you guys can't use that excuse.
Don't you eat that homework.
No, I tell my kids, I was like, you guys don't get away with that because we have access to email nowadays, that we can just have the teacher email us the homework, and you guys still got to do it. So they make sure they just get it done each day instead of having 2 loads in one day. So they're not able to get away with it as easy now.
Back in my day, I used to just be able to say, "Yo no hacerlo."
No,
it's not a thing anymore.
I know he's a pretty good dog. He's pretty mellow just here at home, and then he does good when we go in the cars. He knows to ride shotgun, and he doesn't jump out. Initially, when we took him to drop off the kids, he was.
Can you see the picture on my phone?
Yeah, I can. Oh, do you have you have 2, right?
Yeah, I do have 2. I do have 2, but the screen picture on my phone is my hunting dog, Asha. I don't have my wife. I don't have my kids. I got my hunting dog.
Wait, do you have your hunting dog there? Is it a male?
No.
You don't?
No, she's in Nebraska.
Oh, she's in Nebraska. They're so loyal. Do they get all excited when they see you?
Well, yeah, and one of the things where Rachel gets pissed off, she's like, when you leave, she just pouts. She just pouts.
No,
So I can't wait till end of May, beginning of June, whatever, when everybody comes down and we're all together again, and the girls are here, and
that's
a hunting dog. I mean, that's really what I'm looking forward to, is my hunting dog.
Oh my God, I know.
I mean, my wife will move down here with my hunting dog, but at least I'll have my hunting dog.
The wife is just a plus, huh? Oh Lord.
It's a pretty big plus, but yeah, she's plus.
No, it was great catching up with you, Jeff. I think we have to do these video conferences or calls more often.
We should. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, and we shouldn't make it so long in between.
Right. No, I agree. I agree completely. It's been, how many months have you been out there now?
I moved out here December 7th, which is a date that shall live in infamy.
Really?
You know why?
Why is that?
Well, of course, you're from Guatemala, you're not from the United States. The rest of us from the United States that were born here, would know that because that's the date that the Empire of Japan intentionally attacked Pearl Harbor.
Mm,
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
I
We got here
see.
December 7th,
Wow.
2020, a date which still lives in infamy.
I see that. I see that. It does live in you very clearly. I see that. No, but we'll have to get together again and do something very similar. I'm glad that everything is going great out there and you're having a great view. And hopefully we're able to get out there, maybe in August sometime, and we'll have to reach out and get in contact again, and hopefully we can celebrate both of our birthdays, yours and mine.
That would be awesome. Let's keep in touch and let's close some real estate deals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Well, you take care, and then we'll be talking. We'll see how we can help each other out in real estate and give you referrals, give me referrals, and we'll stay connected. So you're
I
great.
absolutely love it. Like I said, I got to talk to you offline here. I've got a listing coming up that I'm gonna need your help with to show. So thank you so much, Candy, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me. Thanks
I
for
look
having
forward to
me.
talking to you soon.
All right, you take care.
All right, see ya.